Well, from the scholastic point of view, I think the president's speech can be lauded by an average person when you look at how he itemized issues one after the other and then talk about the plans from the scholastic point of view. And the economists and people who value, let's say, intellectualism, they will quite appreciate that. But now, when the speech was given last night, even if you were a member of APC and celebrating that, and then you go to bed clapping your hands, what a wonderful speech. By the time you wake up in the morning, you won't see food on the table. You see, what the Nigerian people are facing now is not an issue of scholarly or scholastic conversation. It is like somebody has an emergency issue. When you run somebody to emergency unit of a hospital, the approach that the medical practitioners will give to the person in the emergency will be different from somebody who has just visited a GP, who will ask you questions and then begin to give advice. Somebody in emergency required what they call intervention. Now, some of the things, like most of the things I read in the speech, like the plan for the manufacturers, for the startups and everybody, these are plans that are conceived to have the effect from 6 months. There's even one that will start in July 2024. The people would have died before that. Now, when you put that on the side and then you look at what the labor people are asking, so if before the removal of subsidy, most of the things itemized in the speech were put in place, and then you come to remove subsidy, labor would have no excuse because then you would have agreed with them at some point. And I'm of the view that even if you don't agree with them, you can't say because you have not agreed with them, you are not taking steps. Go ahead and make your pronouncement of the increase of salary to the middle class people who are the workers, and then release the money.
The president is speaking and trying to let people know that we are working. We are doing something. The first thing that came, I believe what my dear brother here is saying, is talking about the immediate emergency needs, which is the pallatives. I'm really not a big fan of palliative, just because of the kind of system that we have. I don't trust that palliative we get to the people that really needs it. So that's why I'm not a big fan of palliative. As much as we are focusing on the immediate needs, I'm very excited seeing the president focusing on the long-term needs. For example, we talked about giving money to 12 million Nigerians, all of those things. And we're talking about increasing of minimum wage. Are you aware that a lot of Nigerians are not working who earn salaries? Many are doing menial job, businesses that you don't need to increase their salary. So in as much as we are focusing on increasing salary, there are tons of barbers, mechanics, a lot of people who take transport every day, who the increment of salary will not necessarily affect them. So while we focus on the immediate need, we have to focus on the long term. My most thing, what I'm looking forward to seeing, how do we get the price of fuel down? Forget all of this.
Can we get it down? Is it really realistic? Because we've been told that the market forces have taken over.
We can get the price of fuel down when we get our refineries to work. When the president is listening to you guys. The president is listening to Nigerians. But unfortunately, I notice we are not reporting, even the opposition parties, we are not reporting as if we want results. We are reporting just to criticize. We are reporting just to somehow see the president fail so that we'll say, we said it. We said don't vote for him. For example, when the palliative came, the president, they announced they're going to be giving, I think it was 8,000 naira to about 12 million Nigerians. And, people were angry. It's too small. It's not enough. After a while, the president decided to pull back and withdraw. I was expecting people to appreciate that. You say, why? That tells me, for somebody like me, that tells me the president is listening, is listening, whether on social media or is listening to news, or the people around him are telling him the truth. Next thing I was expecting to be seen on social media, to be seen on the news. Now that the president has withdrawn the palliative of 8,000, we should tell him what we want. Is it that we want it to be 30 million Nigerians and 10,000? That's what we should be putting out there, not just to criticize without providing solutions.